So the way we're going to progress this webinar is we're going to initially have some introduction about the company, and further after that we'll give you some brief overview of Account Aggregator. Then we'll go through the the user journey that is the key agenda, and lastly we'll leave about 15 minutes for the Q&A. Is everyone able to see the screen okay?
Yeah, it is visible.
Great. So about SynergyLabs, so we are essentially an IT tech consulting organization that specializes in fintech. So we are helping a lot of fintech startups and enterprises to build up various capabilities around. So essentially, we are a 50+ team now. And because of the various, unicorns that became unicorns and have been our clients, the total value that we have unlocked is more than $4 billion. And most of the number that we are very proud of is that we have 100% customer retention so far. So these are some of our customers and their recommendations for us. Their testimonies. So, SynergyLabs is, was started by me and Sushil. So Sushil is a, computer science engineer from IIT Delhi, batch of 1999. And then he has held, managerial positions in, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Millennium Partners, Royal Bank of Scotland, and where he's built high performance, high throughput, mission critical applications. And me, I've worked with various Fortune 500 organizations, helped them design and optimize various products. Yeah, so my complete motto is that most of the times the truly intuitive designs win over the most complicated ones. So yeah, so this is some of the stacks that we have supported with. We help in creating tech stacks for customer onboarding, data analytics, loan servicing, portfolio monitoring. Bank statement analysis is particularly a very subject of ours where we have gained a lot of depth in. And then again, other things like in OCR, helping invoice and packing list, BL, so those kind of documents, we have our own capability with OCRs. Further, in the areas of collection, mobile, AI, and DevOps, we have also got capabilities. Again, this is a whole, series of services that we offer in cloud computing, machine learning, data analytics, mobile and web development. So essentially, we operate in solution advisory and consulting, application development, application management services, and resource augmentation. So coming to the key topic of today, what is Account Aggregator framework? Why is it important, and why is it important now? Right. So when we look at, there are about 160 million consumers, Indians, that have lacked in adequate credit access in 2021, right? I mean, and when you sort of look at who've been served and who are left out, that's a huge number. And when you put it to, and in fact, some of the people in the webinar had put up this question also, that a lot of banks have not yet been on board. So just to give you a perspective of that, just on 1st of August, all major PSUs have become part of this ecosystem. So that makes it 1.1 billion bank accounts are now live on Account Aggregator framework. So you can imagine the kind of value that is now going to be unlocked because of this ecosystem. when we look at account aggregator, essentially, there are four bodies: RBI, SEBI, IRDAI, and PFRDA. So these are the ones that have collectively created this ecosystem, and they've also created this NBFC AA. So somebody needs to have an NBFC AA license to be an account aggregator. But if you are regulated by RBI, SEBI, IRDA, or PFRDA, you can essentially be an FIU, which is financial information user. So this is the consent mechanism that is there. So account aggregator is purely a consent manager. So they don't hold the data. They are purely a consent architecture where the data holders like banks, mutual funds, insurance providers, and of course, which is not there yet, the tax and GST, but soon it will be, which is also this is going to be very, very exciting. So they holding your data can actually interact with FIUs when they issue a request for a consent, and basically, your personal finance management or wealth management, robo advisors, or even lending partners can use this data to create new age solutions. So what the problems essentially what account aggregator is going to solve is, as we all know, the whole thing with current situation with uploading PDFs. There's a major drop-offs when somebody's been asked to do upload PDFs. Second thing is it's very easy to manipulate PDFs, right? You just edit certain names. You can, one can ask somebody else to, give their own thing, just change the name and, things like that. Where there's a challenge in data trust, data recency, and of course with the PDFs there is high cost of processing. There's inaccuracies in reading the data. So all these challenges can be eliminated with account aggregator framework. So because of the fact that it is digitally signed, API driven, aggregated, multi-month, multi-account data, encrypted end-to-end, and standard-driven connectivity infrastructure, there are very interesting use cases that come out of this. Of course, first one being that you have the automated data collection, which is omni-channel and omni-product loan origination. And the biggest and the most interesting part about this is also, the early warning sign signals. I remember discussing with one of the clients in BFC of how do you right now do early warning signals, right? Or how do you monitor the loans? So we have, here, so let's make it a bit more interesting. So Tanmay, if you can, probably answer what do you think without the account aggregator system, how do, people monitor loans in the current scenario? Hello, Tanmay, can you hear?
Yeah. Hi, Rahul.
Hi. So can you please tell, right now, according to you, how would, without the account aggregator, how do companies monitor loans?
So every company would, depending on the size of the company and the kind of capabilities that they have, they'd probably have various risk models in place, which probably keep a track of customer data, customer interactions, both internal to the lending company as well as probably use bureau data for details of their transactions or behavior with other lenders, be it credit cards or loans. And probably some companies, the more advanced ones, would also use some fraud detection capabilities, which use alternate data maybe mobile app, device data, etc.
Yeah, certainly. So, there are these kind of different tools that one tries to access, but it's still very much shooting in the dark because they really are looking at alternative data modes and methods. Where here in Account Aggregator, it's quite direct, right? You have these bank statements that are there. You can see what your average balance is, what is the lowest balance that the person is having. And based on that, you can create a pretty simple flow of let's say the person's salary is getting reduced month on month, or is it something that the he stopped receiving salary for a month or something. So something like these can actually be very powerful. And of course, when the business use cases will come into play, that if the sales are dropping, right, or the cost of purchases are increasing but the sales are remaining same, so things like that can actually create early morning signs with use of Account Aggregator. Then there is also data-driven, portfolio management features, personal finance for customer engagement, right? So that is also something which is quite interesting to do precise, individual-sized, data-driven. For example, you understand somebody shops at Reliance, right? So, and they pretty much enjoy doing that. So, one can advise, why don't you buy Reliance shares if you're buying, so much spending on their various products. And then again, some neobank solutions are also there in terms of budgeting advice, spending alerts that can be created and triggered immediately based on different rule bases. Then you can also create, as I said, tailored financial products based on their, flow that is happening. You can see from the bank statements, whether the person is regularly paying school fees, so you understand they have children in the school, and maybe they'll want to take insurance, or let's say that they are paying for medicine. So how about creating some offering in that area of taking some health insurance package for their family. So similar to that, we can create different kind of products in with basis of Account Aggregator framework. And the last but not the least is the cash flow based lending. So right now, that is the biggest challenge, right? The unbanked people, the people who are, don't have any kind of assets that they can pledge, but they are in business, they are doing okay. And of course, with the kind of credit market that India operates, these people will benefit the most from this kind of system. So it's really, really ripe for disruption for especially the cash flow based lending. So, and I think the whole government push is also going into this, and they push PSUs with a deadline of being online by 1st of August because of cash flow based lending. So, in terms of the benefits, of course, the elimination of rework with all the PDFs going away, the reduced cost of conversion and storage again because of PDFs as a system going away, or scans need to not be there. And with the whole ecosystem now, is the time when NBFCs and banks, they can really look at hyper acquisition of customers which are new to bank or new to credit, because there's never been a better time where you can literally have a new to bank customer, new to credit customer, having entering your app to having my funds in his account within 6 minutes, right? Uh, and the whole back end of those APIs can be operated accordingly. Some of the interesting use cases that will develop, which are also which I'm watching keenly and which is very often interest. So one is the moment GST will go live, your tax filing or your accounting can potentially be automated, right? Or it could potentially be something that banks offer as a service as well to their customers, understanding from the GST data and the bank data, plus insurance and mutual fund data, that look, we can do the entire package for you, and that could be a key differentiator very soon. And when we talk about data trust, it also has applications in employment check, in matrimony check. So potentially somebody who wanting to register on shadi.com could in future may very well be asked to link their account through account aggregator to validate if the person is, whether he's, in terms of to check if the person is into gaming, gambling, what is his alcohol spend, um, and of course, what is his income. So those things can be validated and used for employment check and matrimony check in future. So here we'll go for the user journey. We'll start with that. So any questions so far before we start on the user journey? Okay, so we start on the user journey. Is everyone able to see the screen? The neobank screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So essentially, this is the journey, and a very, use case that we thought of is everybody has been in those shoes when, a friend or a family has gone into a medical emergency, and, a person is at the hospital. They want, immediate funds to be deposited into the hospital, and they are seeking help from their friends and arranging funds for the same. And how account aggregator and this kind of framework can be used in those scenarios as well, right? So here, simple phone number, simplest thing that people remember, ideal thing to set up as a user ID, and the OTP is sent. And here the basic account is created, and then we tell them about what the journey is like. Here the person enters their name, their email address, PIN code, and their Aadhaar card number, and then here they choose purpose of loan and the amount they require. The Aadhaar number is taken from the previous page where they entered this field. Again, this is for eKYC purposes. They enter the OTP. Now they've been asked from the list of banks here. They can hover and select particular bank, and then either they have an option to upload PDF or they go for different account aggregator. Now here they have an option to choose a new number. Now here we are actually using the SDK of the account aggregator. So the person is never leaving the app, but they're just getting this powered by logo. So they enter this OTP to access their account aggregator account. We fetch the bank details. And we are also asking them here about what this data validity is going to be, and in terms of what is going to be the frequency. Here we can use LSP OCAN framework to look at what options can be availed. And here they can get a transaction summary, what is the interest rate, what are the number of payments, monthly payment. Now they go into the e-sign. Again, backend APIs to look into the e-sign. So they sign it, enter the OTP for the same, and their loan is approved. Now all they need to do is set up autopay. They set this autopay up, and now they give consent to monitor the loan. Again, the whole as per the requirement set up. They need to know what the transaction period is, consent frequency is there, consent validity, and data life. And done. They've got the loan, they have the funds deposited them, and the monitoring also starts from here. So this is the entire journey that one can potentially do, not leaving the app at all. No need to fetch any kind of number apart from their own Aadhaar detail, and they can get the funds directly into the system. And just a couple of more slides about. So these are all the, some of the prominent members who have just gone live on 1st of August. So you can see all the biggies, right? You can see SBI, HDFC, ICICI, Bank of India, Axis Bank, but you also see some of the life insurance like Max Life Insurance also getting on board. And then you have some, new age ones called Lending Cart, and Navi was one of the, first, adopters of Account Aggregator framework. These are, our credentials. If you want to, contact us, we'll be happy to help you, build your stacks. So any questions? So we are open to questions now.
Yeah, Rahul, I've just asked one question in the chat also. So SBI also went as an FIP or an FIU?
Both. It's gone live as FIP and FIU both.
I don't think so, because I've checked with all my A partners, but none of them mentioned that it went live.
No, so it's so it was required for them to. When did you check?
Just now, whenever you are telling just now, I checked 1 minute back.
Okay, so I mean, we are part of Sahamati, and Sahamati confirmed that on 1st of August, SBI has also gone live.
I don't think so. That's the thing, because SBI, we have myself also eagerly waiting, so that's why I was just rechecking. Okay.
So in fact, Sahamati has this information available on their website. So I'll be happy to share that link with you as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then you were asking about getting involved with AI, but Perfuse one. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure which AA they've onboarded with, but they are live as per Sahamati.
Okay. And one more thing I wanted to know, like in this AA journey, we are one of the adopters also of AA journey.
Okay.
So I myself has led this entire thing. So wanted to know in the AA, there are few challenges also we got to know. I want to know how this industry or how you propose to handle it. First thing being just a second. First thing being the bank account number being masked is what we are getting as an output from the first thing. Then we are also seeing multiple OTPs need to be entered. Few drop-offs are also happening. Like for a single concept, like we have onboarded Perfuse, One Money, and Finvio. Like few are having 2 OTPs, few are having 3, few are having 1. So so these 2 to 3 OTPs are also causing some drop offs. So this is what the major challenges which we have seen. And one more thing is we have also seen the consent for the A as per the regulation need to be a separate one is what I have got to know.
Yeah.
And like in a journey, customer need to give multiple consents. And if it is a sales assisted journey, the journey even becomes more tedious
Mhm.
because sales need to send the link, customer need to give the consent multiple times. So
Yeah.
just want, these are the three big challenges like currently I'm seeing. So just wanted to know how like how these are being tackled, or any solutions or any implementation around this is something you wanted.
See, I mean, the thing is, right now, OTP has become the norm, right, in terms of signing or giving your consent. Um, so, I mean, there could be, tools like OneAuth, like the, authentication apps that have these numbers can be potentially be used in the future. But right now, see, when you look at the initial journey, right, the APIs you're calling and getting the consent from, they all need individual OTPs. For example, when you're doing, Aadhaar eKYC, then there's a OTP for that. And then when you're trying to log in into the account aggregator account of the person in the same SDK, then again, they need to enter the OTP. Then later, and then basically that is just consent to access the data, right? And then you need to do e-sign of the agreement. That's also an OTP. Then further, you are going down the track where you are giving consent to monitor um, the loan. Then you need to give that OTP. So essentially, I would say in the whole journey, you're probably entering about 4 times. But think of it from how far we've progressed, right? Where a person was required to go physically, or scan the documents, upload the documents, and how the credit underwriting and bank statement analysis needed to happen at that point. And this is because of the whole stringent RBI regulation, right? How you're doing it. Um, so definitely, I can understand the pain point of people getting dropped off due to OTPs, but definitely the percentage will be a lot lesser versus when they have to go through multiple apps, or they have to physically find these documents, upload them, and do things like that. I hope I've answered the
Yeah,
question.
yeah. So that one I am also hoping ki that's how it is, and that's how it can be progressed. But about the other two, like other one, like on the bank statement, last
Yeah,
4 digits, bank account number.
yeah,
So
sure.
there also there's a challenge where we are only getting last 4 digits, and entire bank account number we are not getting.
Yeah, but that's not really a problem because you're anyway getting the bank statement, right? And that's the whole account aggregator trust that those details are accurate. Uh, so
But
having
but
the
in but in an imagine an in a journey where a straight through approval can't be given, and it should be routed via like credit, because
Mhm.
100% the journey which you have shown can't be catered to 100% of the customers. Ideally, in a journey like straight through process, if you imagine personal loan or any journey, 10-20% or max 30% is what I'm able to imagine, considering the number of conditions the policy engine or the policy team will be having.
Mhm.
So in that thing, there are a lot of non-straight through customers that we need to, and for that, the credit or the underwriting team might be requiring this particular bank account number and these things to validate exactly is this the same or not. And this will be also used for disbursement and repayment collection directly. So otherwise, there is a multiple thing. So just wanted to know
Yeah,
any
but now,
improvements. Yeah,
so
sorry, you
yeah,
can.
so Yeah, so now I mean, specifically for you're saying credit underwriting. So for credit underwriting, account aggregators data is considered to be trustworthy, and the number account number is not required for that use case. So I would say that it's ready to be one billion plus accounts are now accessible through account aggregator framework. So definitely, most of the journeys are going to be happening like this very soon. Any other questions? We'll be happy to answer anyone's other questions. Does anyone else have any questions for us? Sure. So I guess all the Q&A is done. So then, thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to building this exciting account aggregator ecosystem with you all. Thank you so much.